Hey, Krista.
Hey, Sarah.
We're back for season 2, baby.
Right? Who would have thought we'd be back for another one?
I know. We still have so many things to talk about.
So I guess I'll see you Tuesday? Hey, girl.
Hey, Krista.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long.
No, we talked last week.
I know. Well, we talk every day, but
Yeah.
literally true. At all times of the day and night.
Do you want to tell the listeners what we're chatting about today? It's a good one.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you gave it the seal of approval. We're going to talk about happiness. We're going to talk about the path and the journey to happiness, what contributes to happiness, and I think some of the blockers that we all experience in our day-to-day life that are detractors from happiness. Ask some interesting questions, give some interesting insights, some tips and tricks. We're letting it all hang out. Or we're letting it all hang loose. We're letting it all out.
I don't know what Gen Z says. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning of let's get a level set on what is the definition of happiness.
Well, the true meaning of happiness from Google states that it's an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment.
I feel like I need to note those words down. Fulfillment, contentment, joy,
Satisfaction. Yep, exactly. Good feelings and positive emotions do good things for our brains and bodies. Thanks, Google.
Oh, good things for our brains and bodies. Interesting.
Feeling some positive emotions every day has a big effect on our happiness and well-being. Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, I can agree with that totally.
Yeah. So with that statement, just generally, are you happy?
No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm laughing right now, but inside.
You're dying.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I don't think I'm necessarily a generally happy person. I don't think that's probably my level set, my base. But for me, it's just finding, at least right now, at this point in my life, is just getting to the place of contentment.
Yeah.
Sometimes with happiness, they can be these extreme highs, and then you hit some low and you're like, oh, I want the high again. But really, we just need to kind of be able to stay kind of neutral with these points in time that give us joy, fulfillment, contentment, good vibes. And then so that we can handle maybe the dips that happen in our life that are expected.
Yeah.
So we can, deal with it and move on. If I can provide some more sociological framework around your definition of happiness, the World Happiness Report ranks countries based on factors like income, social support, freedom, and life expectancy in terms of a happiness ranking, I guess, or happiness criteria. And the happiest countries prioritize social welfare and community support over, I guess, capitalism. And the happiest countries are Finland, Denmark, and Switzerland.
I got that too.
I think I saw Iceland in one of these top categories, and I'm like, you live on an iceberg, you best be happy. You find a way, because it's a different climate.
Absolutely. And I think, at least what I'm looking at, I don't know if this is completely accurate, but Canada, where we reside, is number 15 on this list for happiest country.
Interesting.
And it says the US is 16, so.
Oh, okay. So we're close. Got some work to do. So let me pose a question back to you. Are you happy?
Yeah, I would say generally, yeah. I'm a happy person. I'm usually a positive person. Like you said, I feel like you can't be happy 24/7 unless you are a psychopath or a robot, because you need to be able to handle the dips and the bad parts in life, right?
Absolutely.
But there's going to be some super happy moments. When I just think of happy moments in my life, I think about my family, I think about my friends, I think about my wedding day, and I think about vacations and trips. That always makes me happy. And then like the little moments, I think people have to remember really valuing the little moments in life. So maybe like an unexpected moment too, like even just like, I don't know, going to the park or going out for coffee with a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, going to a concert, like little things like that add up.
Yeah, baby's first smile, laughing till you're crying in the office with like, you know, your office bestie over like a good joke. Like, absolutely.
Yeah. I think people forget that. Like, you can't be happy 24/7. You can't go on trips 24/7. So you have to really rely and value on those, I don't know, on those moments.
Absolutely. And I think you're talking to like a contributing factor to happiness, which is like creating and living in meaningful experiences and creating like memories.
Yes.
Because like there's going to be things that are unpleasant that are in our kind of memory bank, and we want to be able to counteract those with like really positive experiences to kind of create that balance.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
And then on the flip side, as a detractor is like the stress in your life, right? That can take away from happiness, whether it be like issues within your family, you know, dynamics or health related issues. Or I think for the biggest detractor from happiness is like workplace stress.
Yeah. Finances. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then taking like as an example, like workplace stress is probably the number one, especially now. Like we talked about in a previous podcast, the work life has changed because you bring work home.
Yeah.
And so that stress is there. I think another thing that's a contributor to happiness is being able to be in the present. And then one of the things that's a stress about work is that you don't live in the present at work. You're having to plan for the future, either, you know, 2024 planning, what's happening next week, next month, or you're having to look back and be like, what did we do wrong in the past? But you're never actually like dialed into like what's going on right now. And that behavior like carries over into like your personal life.
But I also feel like people don't, this is a general statement, I don't think people live in the moment.
Yes.
And I have to remind myself to live in the moment, because you're always planning for the future. You're maybe regretting what you did in the past, planning for the future, preparing for something, organizing for something in the future, but you're never actually living in that moment, because that moment's going to be gone in an instant.
Agree. You're either preparing or you're spending time in regret, and you're never just like dialed into like what is happening right now.
Absolutely.
I was just on a little jaunt with my brother and in the downtown area today, and I'm like, I have such a hard time appreciating like what I have living here, of just like walking the waterfront and taking it all in, being present. Yeah. Because you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about what you did wrong in the past, and you're just not like, fuck, this is a great life.
Yeah. It was a great day today, great life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think the next thing that I have in terms of like contributing to like happiness is the aspect of social connections. So building like meaningful relationships, either with like family members, with friends, with significant other. Having those relationships provides like a great amount of emotional support so that you can get through the harder times, because the reality is in those harder times, if you don't build resiliency to those harder times, then being happy becomes challenging. Yeah. Because you're just living by the highs, hoping that you never hit a low so you don't have to deal with it, and then just kind of in a way living with some blinders on.
Yeah. But that's unrealistic.
You would think, but I think some people definitely live like that, where it's like, are you aware about like the aspects of like not everything is going to be all roses? Like, yeah. But they do say ignorance is bliss.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I have a stat saying 2/3 of adults globally report being happy.
Oh, okay. 2/3 isn't really a good stat, though.
Well, people are going through it.
It's 66.666% or something. Like,
yeah. Well, between us, I was happy. You were like, meh.
True.
Right?
Well, yeah. It can also depend. I think people in third world countries do have a tendency to report higher levels of happiness than people who are like first world and have have an attachment to capitalism, to things, striving for more. You know what I mean? Like, what's my next thing? What's the next thing I'm going to conquer? How much money can I make? What real estate can I buy?
There's always something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think people pretend to be happy or kind of fake it till they make it to be happy?
Such a good question. I think, is my answer a two-parter? I think a lot of people are not self-aware to actually know themselves. So they're just conditioned to respond that they're happy. And I think there's an also part of the population that believes in fake it till you make it. So they will say it, hoping that if they say it enough, that it'll become true. And I think for people who aren't aligned with their purpose in life and are saying those things, they're the ones that end up having the struggle or the mental breakdown or the midlife crisis later, where it's like, I've been living a lie this whole time, and now it just dawned on me that I'm actually unhappy. I don't like this. I don't like what's going on in my life. I don't like what I do every day for a living. And I think also that detracts from your happiness. But if you don't feel like you're supported to like follow your passion in whatever way that is, then you're never really going to reach that point of like ultimate fulfillment, contentment, good vibes, joy.
Yeah.
Because you're not living a life that's true to yourself.
Yeah. I think people pretend to be happy and fake, especially on social media.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Do you think it's because they feel pressure to do it because of social media, or do they feel comfortable kind of like perpetuating like a fallacy because they don't think it's real? Yeah.
And I also like the majority of people posting on social media are posting happy things. No one's really posting sad things. So people are just trying to maybe one up one another, make their lives look happier and perfect and great than what's really going on behind the scenes. Maybe even to make themselves feel better. Like, oh, if I post this happy picture, I'm happy. Who knows? But yeah, I think social media.
There's a social pressure to embellish, strongly embellish your circumstances. And that's unfortunate, because in a previous episode, we said like Instagram is the most detrimental app in the world. And that's probably where people are posting, quote unquote, these happy times and experiences. Totally. And it's a whole lie.
Yeah. And even like, even if you're in the workplace or if you're just like out and you see someone you know and you go, hey, how are you? What's your first response?
I'm fine, because I don't want to tell you anything.
Exactly.
I'm good.
I'm fine. I'm fine, or I'm good. You're not going to go into anything else. You're just going to say that. And the other person's going to be like, oh, great. Right? And it's going to stop there.
But don't you ever get that person that says that they're fine, but the way that they've said I'm fine, or even their body language, you're like, but you're not fine.
Then it depends on the person. That I might like, are you?
Like, it's like,
do you want to talk?
Do you need a hug?
Yeah. Yeah. Because life is tough out there.
Like, listen, this is the longest marathon I've ever ran in my life. And the more that work creeps into like my personal time, it's just like, ooh, like how many hours do I get to myself a day that aren't sleeping hours? Oh, 3. Yeah. Awesome.
So then you have to find, especially during the work week, speaking about work weeks, the happiest day of the week, surprisingly, is Saturday.
Really? Okay, what's your favorite day of the week? Oh, so those are not, if I stack rank, those are not the ones that are going to be first place and second place for me.
What are your happiest days of the week?
Fridays is my happiest day. Because if I'm in control of my calendar, it's going to be pretty light, right? So I can ease my way into like good vibes. Thursday is probably my second, because I'm like, I know the next day is Friday, which is my favorite day.
We're almost there.
And then thirdly is Saturday, because I'm like, I'm free.
Okay. I agree with Friday, though. I think Friday's my favorite day as well.
Yeah, like I'm happy every Friday unless I'm like sick or something. Like every Friday I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah. That's funny. No, but it says 57% of people are the happiest on Saturdays.
That is so crazy. I wonder what the age demographic is of that answer.
Don't have that data for you. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
What do you think is the happiest age?
I don't know if I have a number, but I think the happiest age is when you start to not give a shit what other people think and live life on your own terms. That's hilarious.
Okay, that's funny.
It kicks in obviously in your mature golden years for sure. Because they're like, I've seen too much and been too much. I don't know if I'll wake up tomorrow, so I don't give a shit. Right? I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
But
so that's funny you say that. That's funny you say that because the least, like pretty much the worst age, because you're not going to be happy at all, is 40. So pretty much it says 23, you're the highest, and then it gradually goes down.
Yeah.
And then 40 is the lowest. Then once you get to 40 years old, then it gradually goes back up.
Ooh.
And then it says 69 is also the highest. So 23 and 69.
You know what? I'm happy to see that that's like a parabola situation, right? It's not like a spike or a decrease over time. It's like a peak and a drop and then a peak again.
Exactly.
Okay. There's light at the end of the tunnel for me. Awesome. 23, I could say, like you're just out of school. There's no pressure. You're still hot. You're still skinny. You're just like living life. Like every day is like a fun experience.
Totally.
You know, like you still have university, you may still have your job to like help pay some of the bills, but nothing really matters.
Nah.
At least when I was 23, like the experiences now where they're like, I'm 23 and I can't afford to go to Greece. It's like, bitch, like I was trying to like save up to like go to Mexico for my first time as ever leaving the country on my own. Like, what do you mean? But I was just like, yeah, I'm going to work my job, drive my little car.
Exactly. Do you want to go out after work for drinks? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Stay out till 1 a.m. Sure.
Go dancing every night. Sleep. What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I can align with that. And then, when I'm post Medicare age, it's going to like ramp back up again. Cool.
Exactly.
Right now, I'm, kind of in the lower parabola situation. Okay, cool. It explains why I don't feel happy right now.
It makes sense, right? Yeah, it says the top 10 happiest life moments. Day of retirement.
Because workplace is a stress.
Exactly. So, that's funny.
That is so interesting.
So maybe that's why you're feeling like, it kind of
I'm into the lower, just like, are you happy? No, literally not happy at all.
I shouldn't be happy, as stated by Google.
And I shouldn't be forced to be happy at work. The last thing I want to hear is at my workplace is feedback that I look unapproachable and I should smile more or something. Like I will commit workplace violence because listen, I don't walk around angry, but I walk around because I'm thinking about things because I'm at work. Mm-hmm. So you're going to tell me you don't want me to think anymore? If you don't want me to think anymore, I'll be smiling like a pig at shit. But I'm at work. Thinking about work shit.
It's true. What else do you have about happiness?
In terms of like tools, I guess. Practicing gratitude regularly can lead to increased life satisfaction and overall well-being.
Do you do that?
I have done a gratitude journal every once in a while, being like, let me do it for 30 days because I have a problem with commitment. I have a problem with routine. So this is challenging for me, but it didn't, whatever it's supposed to do, it didn't give what it was supposed to give for me.
Got it.
I do try and remember to be grateful in certain moments when I know I'm kind of complaining, but I don't know. I'm doing it wrong.
See, that to me would be not difficult. I don't want to do it like that. I usually look back at my life. If it's my birthday, then I look up like the past year and what I'm grateful for, or like at the end of like the calendar year, then I kind of look back at that year and be like, okay, what am I grateful for? What happened? Things like that. I don't know if I could do a gratitude journal. I don't think I could do that.
For some people, it's life changing, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, do I need like a software upgrade? Because it's not. It's not dialing in for me.
Maybe. What else? What other tools are there?
You want tools? I got tools for you, girl. Well, it kind of aligns and goes hand in hand with gratitude practices like mindful meditation. So that's like focusing on being present and in the now, right? So that's like the breathing exercise. It's a visualization. It's like calming your mind, not thinking about anything to like get yourself grounded. Also,
that's funny. Calming your mind, not thinking about anything. That's hilarious. Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, or if you were on mat leave when we were working together. At some point, we used to have these meditations. I forget what day of the week it was, where this chakra healer, I don't remember what she was, would come in and do that meditation in the boardroom.
Yep.
I think I went one time and that was it, because the ground is very uncomfortable as you get older to like sit on. I did try meditation on my own a few times, but I would lay on my bed. It always ended up in a nap, so I definitely got relaxed.
That's great.
And play some meditation music. But the only way that I could get my mind from not veering off into a thought, because my mind has racing thoughts, right, is to just repeat the word nothing, nothing, nothing over and over in my head, so that no thought could come in. So it's like, it was like the bat or the paddle that was like hitting away any thoughts,
swatting away all the thoughts,
swatting away nothing, get out of here, nothing, no. And it's like,
were you like reading the words like nothing like over and over? You can like see the words in your head.
Oh, I don't know.
Or was it just like blackness,
I think, of me just hearing my voice saying nothing.
Got it.
But that's a good question. I haven't done it in a while to know if like I had to visualize nothing as a word.
That's my issue too. When I did meditation a few times, it's hard for me to not think about anything.
Yeah.
Like even when you're trying to fall asleep at night.
Yeah.
It's hard for my brain to like go to sleep mode, right?
Yeah, it's because the women is going through the updates, it's going the refresh, it's doing some quality assurance. Just like you're just about to dip off into sleep, and you're like, did I send that email?
Did I lock the door?
Right?
Exactly.
It's like, did I shower today? Like, it's just all these random thoughts. It's like, or it's like your brain's like, remember that embarrassing thing that you never wanted to think about again? This is a good time to bring it back up. And you're just like, what?
Totally. So, but I know people like, I give kudos to the people that can actually do that. I think that takes a lot of willpower and strength to not think about everything that's going on.
It's a skill, and I feel like once that can be mastered for me, like it'll probably be a game changer. But I don't think about that every day, because I'm just thinking about I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking, like right now, right now I could say that I definitely have higher moments of happiness because we are doing this podcast, and it's something that I enjoy, right? It's like aligning more to whatever the higher purpose is of just like creating and sharing and connecting. Like we're doing these things in these episodes. So that balances out the stress I have in my like 9-to-5 life.
Yeah. That's great. You found like an outlet that makes you happy.
It does. The podcast makes you happy too, right?
Absolutely.
Thought you're going to be like, well.
Well, actually, dealing with you, Krista. No, just joking.
Is always a pleasure. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Any other tools?
There's two other ones. One being engagement in like flow activities. So I think that's just like some type of exercise where you're releasing energy. They say like walking is a good one because it's the momentum or the kind of, I don't want to say robotic pace of it, but it's a really good centering activity of like clearing your mind.
Absolutely.
The motion, of walking. Yep. And then of course you can do yoga and those other type of things. When I was a runner, I don't want to say it was calming, but it would give me moments of clarity of like something I was trying to solve for in my mind, and then just be running. It would just like clear my mind for like the solution to come to me. The other thing when they talk about like tools is like performing acts of kindness.
Oh.
Even as an exercise to like, do acts of kindness for a certain amount of days of like just strictly altruistic. Did I say that word right? Altruistic things for other people, expecting nothing in return, to feel good about like making somebody else feel good.
That's a good one. I feel like people need to do that one more.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly try to like consider others in my day to day. Sometimes I can't, but it's like, yeah, like saying, hey, are you okay? Or
yeah, exactly. Right. And
like,
sometimes I can't speak to iPhone users, so I'm sorry about that. But us Android users can schedule texts. So when I think about something, usually when I'm trying to go to sleep, and if it's like I need to check in on someone, or I need to like ask someone like, how you doing, thinking about you, I will do a scheduled text for like the next day at a certain time so I don't forget.
Since you told me about that
tip. You're welcome.
I've used that like a couple of times.
Good.
But I'm also horrible where it's like, if I had that thought at 3 a.m, I'm gonna send it to you, not even thinking that far ahead to schedule it. And it's like, you're like, oh, and then the next day someone will be like, I'm so sorry, I was sleeping. And I'm like, I know, that's fine. But I won't remember this unless I send it to you right now.
Yeah. But that's a good one. I think everyone should do that more, because we're kind of selfish. Everyone just thinks about themselves, and that's fine. Life is busy and crazy, and we kind of get caught up in our own shit. But I think that's really good to try to, help others more.
Agreed. These two aren't necessarily in my notes, but I think they're important, is like getting outside and getting some like sunlight.
Vitamin D.
Not the kind that everybody needs from the sun, not the other kind. But
yes,
yeah, part of your circadian rhythm, like your biological way that your body moves, it requires sunlight. And like in terms of like getting those happy hormones up and going, seeing the sunlight within like the first 30 minutes of when you wake up, like getting out there is super important in terms of like balancing your own internal clock. And yeah, vitamin D is linked to like low vitamin D levels, linked to depression. So you definitely want to do that. And then what piggybacks onto that is get outside.
Yeah.
Like staying inside, being stuck in your own head, like it's not good long term. One of the stats that I found was that in terms of like overall happiness dropped according to the World Happiness Report for 2021. There was a significant drop in global happiness levels during the pandemic because everybody was inside, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, vitamin D and fresh air is good for everybody. So the fact that in 2020 people were stuck inside, not leaving their house, absolutely. That's
in Canada, we were stuck inside for 2 years. I mean, I was fine with it, but I know other people definitely struggled.
Yeah. And because, we live in Canada, we have warmer months in the summer, right? So I feel like I'm making a generalized statement here. I feel like generally people are a little more happier when it's nicer outside. The sun's out, nice weather, things like that. When it's a really cold, crappy snowstorm in February, it's not.
You're like, get away from me. You're looking for that's when I try and take my vacations in January, February, because that's when like the winter blues would probably be at the all-time high, right? You came off of like the joy of Christmas and family time, and now you're like, this is my reality. Like I'm living in this like on this iceberg for the next few months. Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
There was another like helpful tool or trick that I had here. Adopting a happiness practice or routine in whatever way that looks like. So that could be a combination of all the things that we talked about like getting up for the morning, getting into some sunlight, writing in your gratitude journal, doing a workout, moving your body, being like
meditating.
Something, is something that they say also can help you in terms of like maintaining a level of like contentment or happiness.
Absolutely. I think that's good. I think, during the work week, Monday to Friday, it's kind of get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. So if you can add some elements of, meditating or getting out for a walk in the fresh air and vitamin D, like if you can add that to the mix of your day, I think generally that might make you content.
Absolutely. In whatever way that works for you in terms of like moving your body or whatever. I know for me, one of the big things of like for me to feel like moments of joy and, contentment and all that is like laughter.
Yes.
Like there are some people in the world who don't find most things funny, right? Like, but I'm like, I need it to live.
I need humor. Yes.
I need humor. And I'm definitely one to like have like the worst experience and then make it into like a joke. But maybe that's trauma coping. But either way,
that's something else.
Laughter is the best natural antidote to like depression or feeling shitty overall.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So if you need some laughter, reach out to us and we will tell you some jokes and make you happy.
Truly. That reminds me, there might be 2 different hotlines, like a hotline of like kids that will, if you call, they'll tell you a joke, or like they'll call and give you like words of like affirmation or encouragement.
Seriously?
It's in the US. I should have like prepped it for this episode, but it just came to me as you're talking about it. And I'm like, how cute is it if you have like a little 5-year-old being like, the going gets tough, but you get tougher. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like, well, shit, the 5-year-old's figured it out. He hasn't even reached 23 yet, and he's already feeling joy.
Seriously. Yeah. I think, finding joy in everyday life is just key. And it can be the smallest little things. Like my kids, when they laugh, like, it's silly and it's stupid, but it brings me so much joy. Right?
I do enjoy Liam's commentary in the background when we're exchanging voice notes. It's like I feel like his feedback and his notes are very valuable.
Side note for everyone listening, he is a 5-month-old baby, so he doesn't say much.
No, but he was instrumental in part of our podcasting journey, so he only knows what he heard, right, in utero, of just like the talking and the playback of the episode. So of course he's always having stuff to say. Like he's working through his material, being like, what works, what's gonna work with the other bebés, like.
Exactly. Did you know that there's International Day of Happiness? Did you know that?
I think I had heard something. I mean, there's an international day for everything, but when is International Day of Happiness?
March 20th. So it already passed, unfortunately.
Oh.
But maybe next year we can do something for International Day of Happiness.
Is that in line with when Tim Hortons does like the smile cookie, or is that for something different?
Oh my God, maybe. So here in Canada, we have Tim Hortons. It's like a coffee shop. It's like our most popular coffee shop. Yeah. And they have this chocolate chip cookie, and then like with the icing, they like make a smile on it. But the joke is, like in the commercials, it's like a perfect, like 2 eyes and like a smile. But then like in reality, the eyes are like cross-eyed, or the smile is like
it's macabre,
or like
it's like dark cookie. It's like out of like some kind of like horror film, where it's like the opposite of joy.
Exactly. So like the joke is like people will like post their pictures of like their smile cookie, and it does not look like a smile at all.
Like,
it's so funny. So when does that happen?
Smile cookie campaign. Oh, it's in the beginning of May. It was May 1st to the 7th.
So no, it doesn't align with International Day of Happiness.
No, it's raising money for. So the proceeds go to different charities, I guess, regionally. So it's like McDonald's like Camp Day.
Yeah.
They push those cookies so hard when you go to Tim Hortons during that time, though. It's like, would you like to add a smile cookie for $1? And I'm like, not today. I don't want that hard. I don't want that hard cookie, and bring me that day old cookie, respectfully.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's us in a nutshell, literally. You just pan to video. Sarah rolls up in her new car at the drive-thru. It's like, you want a cookie for $1? You're like, okay. And then Krista comes up behind in her car and is like, a smile cookie for $1? And I'll be like, no, I'm good, thanks.
Oh, that's so true.
Maybe that's why you're happy and I'm not.
You're not taking those damn smile cookies.
It's like, well, sometimes if I have little children in the car, but it's just like, no.
That's funny. I think that's all I have for happiness. Do you have anything else?
I didn't have anything else. Just a recap of like creating a happiness routine, practicing gratitude, mindful meditation, get your body moving, get outside, get in the grass, get connected. align on what your purpose is and find ways to like do those type of activities that bring you joy.
But also watch out for your ages, because if you're around 40, then you're doomed.
Just don't bother. Just find a Netflix.
It gets better.
Yeah. It only takes how many years? Like it's only going to be like 42 years more or so, or whatever. 44 years? No. What's the math on that? 54 years? 56 years. Shoot. My nephews would roast me so bad right now to see how bad I just did that math calculation.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, Auntie, that's your one job, to be good at math. It's like, okay, but also the reason why you get happy again at 69 is because you have dementia. So like,
and also you're done work.
Yeah, you're retired and you forget everything. So there's nothing to think about because you literally don't remember anything.
You're living your best life on vacation.
Yeah, on the cruise ship.
Exactly. Sign me up.
Man, what will we look like at retiree age?
Oh my God. Have you not seen? No, because you don't have TikTok. The age filter, the old age filter app. Have you done it?
No.
Oh my God.
Because my worst fear is like, what if it doesn't look any different than how I look right now? I'm a freak right out.
No, I did it and I was like, oh.
Yes, no, I don't need, again, like I need to align myself with things that bring me joy and contentment, and that would not be one of them. But if I could go into the future and like, let's just say we end up at the same nursing home, this is what it will look like. I'm going to be in my room watching some dark show, and you're going to come in your walker and you're going to tell me that they're doing like euchre in the hall, in the bingo hall, and that telling me to get up and let's go so that we could go like talk to people, and I'd be like, why? I'm gonna die soon.
It's pretty much our personality.
Like, it'll be fun for who?
Pretty much. Well, I think we've talked about every happiness angle that we can.
Yeah, in fact, I found some moments in today's episode. But as always, want the listeners to chime in. Like, what are some ways that you're looking to like get happiness in your everyday life? What kind of routines do you support? What type of resources have you used in order to like have some level set base foundation of like contentment? And on the flip side, what have you done to build a resiliency against those unpleasant times in your life? Because we all go through them. We always love to hear your feedback. And of course, as always, rate and review us. Follow us on all the socials. We want to hear you. We want to see you. We want to connect with you.
Until next time.
Bye, girl. See you next week.
Bye.